Alright, today we're back on the Suburban project again. Put the Honda clone in here. It's been a couple months. Seasons have changed. Now it's fall. Last time I was working on this it was late summer and it was just too hot. Took a hiatus, did some other things. I took the mower deck, pretty much finished that up, and it's in storage until next spring where I can fool around. They need the belt size and we have to hook up some other things underneath to get that going. I'll do a video on that when I get to it. But what I'm getting to today, after all this delay, is working on jetting for the Honda GX390. With the stack and the muffler, it really messed the jetting up. It's very lean off idle. This has an adjustable pilot and I've tweaked that a little bit back and forth and it's just not covering it. Once it transitions over to the main, it just falls flat on its face, doesn't go anywhere, so got to get this straightened out. One of the other chores I'm doing today is raking leaves. Can't see behind you, but it's leaf season. I have a lot of thrifty suburbanite methods of doing leaves for another time. But one of the things is I'll use a tractor to tow the cart back and forth to the woods with leaves in it. That'll give me a chance to get this engine up to operating temperature so I can better judge where the jetting's got to be. I certainly know it's got to be 2, 3, 4 sizes up on the main. We'll just drill it out and see how that works. If all else fails, I'll go on Amazon and get an adjustable main jet for it. But we'll see. First thing is to get this thing warmed up to temp, and then we'll play around with it. Okay, so we got a couple trailer fulls of leaves back here. I think it's up to operating temperature now. It's idling just fine. I finally brought it off of half choke and she's just putting along. Putting a little choke into it helps out a lot. Still on and off, on and off, on and off. It's without the choke altogether. And in addition to that, when I go to take off with this trailer, if it's just at idle, it'll be just fine. If the throttle's open any little bit and that load is applied momentarily, end the story. Well, that's what happens. Right there, it's even at idle now. It's warmed up, so maybe it changed it a little bit. That's what we're working with. We have to richen this thing up so it's not cutting out like that all the time. And this is only a momentary load. When we get the mower deck underneath of it, that's a constant load. Sometimes the grass is higher, so it's going to be tougher on it. Other times there's no grass, like around my yard, and there's hardly any load on it at all. But the neighbor's yard, he grows hay over there, I think, sometimes. That's what I'm going to be using this for, is over next door. So I have to be able to put it under load without that cutting out like what just happened. Alright, so I took the carburetor off and I learned something new. The grill is in the way. So you have to take one of the bolts off the grill, swivel it, and get the carburetor off. Not a big deal. So for those of you who don't have any idea what I'm talking about with the jetting on the engine, it has to do with how the carburetor Sucks up and atomizes fuel in the venturi, the carburetor. All big stuff you don't have to worry about. What I'm worried about right now is this simple chart kind of explains it. I'm looking at the pilot jet. If this is our engine running down here, this would be at idle, quarter throttle, half throttle, 3/4 and full throttle. Okay, and on this side is how much fuel is being delivered, and then in the chart it shows what orifice inside the carburetor, and there's many, affect what range of the throttle operation. Okay, so at idle we're going to be on our pilot jet. Hardly any from the main jet. As you can see, it tapers off and ends around quarter throttle. So as we go faster and faster, the pilot contributes less gasoline and the main jet starts to take over, which is a bigger orifice, a bigger hole, allows more flow into the engine at high RPMs. And in the middle, there's an overlap between the 2 points, as you can see. Draw it straight down, and it's still, this is just a simplified chart I threw together real quick off of something I found on the internet. But this gap here probably should add up to a even slope all the way up. It's simplified, like I said, just for explanation purposes. So when it comes off the idle a little bit, it's being picked up by the main jet. And this overlap here is where you run into trouble sometimes. You can adjust the pilot jet only so much to make up for that overlap before it runs real bad at idle, which you don't want either. So you want it to run and blend in with the main jet. My problem with the tractor was I had to put the pilot jet out so much it wouldn't really idle, and it would putt along. It was not running evenly, and then when it would go over to the main jet, it would just be way too lean. So rich, lean. Rich means too much gas, lean means too little gas. So what I did is I took the pilot jet out, looked at it, made sure it was clear, and then I took the main jet out. And for that, I knew I needed a bigger main jet because it just wasn't passing enough fuel during this throttle stage here. Right kind of in the middle, I was getting real poor performance, and then at wide open it was galloping and doing all kind of different noises, backfiring and stuff. This has to be bigger. So I took the main jet out of the carburetor, and when I initially got it out, I measured it. What you can do is use a small set of very fine drill bits. There's special drills, not in most of your sets, but the number drill bit when I first took my main jet out was 64. I knew that because I checked the size of the main jet with this drill bit number. So I knew it was a 91.5, which is 92, marked on the jet was the same thing, so that's good. So initially I went up and I did a 62. Open up the main jet to a 62, reassembled it. So I knew that when I put the 62 in there, it was 2 steps bigger in drill bit sizes than what I had. And it's kind of funny when you look at these, you would think that the bigger ones would be the fatter orifices. No, they're not. It's just reverse order on this. As you can see, it goes down 70, 69, 68. So it's just the reverse order. The bigger you get, the smaller the sizes are. Sounds weird, but it's what you got to deal with. So what I did after the first 62 didn't work out is why I went up to what I had on my set was a 61, which, as you'll see, is not listed here. It jumps from 62 to 60. Well, I had a 61. It had to be a little bit bigger than a 62, so I drilled it with the 60, and lo and behold, it works fine. That is my final jetting. I figure it's about 100 main jet on a 61 bit. That concludes lesson of the day. I hope my helper got that carburetor on. Sounds a lot better. Let's go take it for a ride, see what happens. Well, I would call that rejetting a success. You saw the videos of the thing pulling the trailer. It's about 500 pounds, give or take, 50 pounds. Pulled it just fine, let the clutch out, low speed, high speed, didn't seem to make a difference, just chugged away. It got enough fuel and it took off. The tractor's done for now. It's going to live in the garage until next summer. We'll mount the mowing deck on it and we'll be over mowing the neighbor's yard. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thrifty Suburbanite signing off.